We're thankful for you. Premier Heating and Air is thankful for you and now offering a $2,000 rebate on a new system, plus a $2,000 tax credit on qualifying systems. Call Premier Heating and Air today or log on to premierishere.com and experience a Premier difference today. No service call fees with repairs. For a 99-cent Premier Club membership has awesome perks, including no service call fee with repairs. Get details today from Premier Heating and Air, a locally owned and operated company.
Hey, welcome to this episode of Grilling with Gary. But I think that with the situation that we're going on with in the United States with the SNAP benefits and that, we're going to call this episode Getting By with Gary. So I've been a cook my entire life, and I've been very thankful that I've had people to kind of help mentor me and teach me how, to survive with food. I'm going to show a couple of recipes today that have been taught to me. Mima, at 95, she grew up during the Great Depression, and so she knows how to stretch things and make a little go a long way. And I'm going to show you one of her soups. It's a sausage lentil soup, and I'm making it fancy today, but it can be made bare bones and, survival food. So there was a time in my life that Dion and I, this was one of the foods that we would, make on a Monday, and man, we knew it would get us through to Thursday. And, the kids affectionately called it Daddy's famous soup. We made it taste good. So, hey, I hope that this recipe that provided for my family when I needed it to will help your family. You're talking about 10 to 15 bucks, feed your family for about 4 days. That right there is pretty good. If you got to survive, that'll work. Okay, the other recipe is one that I'm going to show you that I kind of have picked up just along the way. Miss Veronica Samuels I grew up across the street from her. Affectionately, Moms. Hey, Moms, thank you so much for taking the time and teaching me how to cook and what food is supposed to taste like. I know what soul food is and what it's supposed to taste like, and I have been putting my heart and soul into my food since you showed me how to do it. Thank you for that, Moms. People, I'm going to tag her in the post when it comes here, and you can just say, hey, I'm thankful that she took the time with me, so, give her a shout out. Ms. Veronica Samuels, awesome. This is going to be a recipe. I sell this at Holy Smokes, but with the surviving's more important than money making, y'all. So this is a chicken and dumpling recipe here that we have here. It's got scratch made dumplings and chicken, can be made with chicken leg quarters. You can really use this recipe, and you $11, you can make it last for an entire week. So I hope that this is going to be something good for the community. I know that people are struggling. The politics of it make absolutely zero care to me. I care zero about that. But my life's mission is to make sure that people are not hungry. And I don't care who you are, you do not deserve hunger. So accept my contribution to you. So the first thing that we're going to do here is going to be Daddy's famous soup. Daddy's famous soup, as I said, is Mima's lentil soup. She, raised Dion. I think at age 55, she took on, basically an infant. I'm very grateful for her. But she, did the same thing. Never knew that, she was poor, but she made it work. So we're going to start here with like a Italian sausage. This is not exactly what I wanted, but we are going to make do. So this sausage, a regular Italian sausage, usually I buy it ground. This right here is in the casing, but it's not going to whoop me because I don't have it out of here. So you get it like this, just run you a little cut through here in your case, and then you don't have that problem anymore. I'm going to turn that down because I let it be too hot. So when you got it in your case, just grab one side of it, get a little. It's not glamorous, but it works. So this recipe can be made with this fresh sausage if you'd like. It could be made with a smoked sausage, Kaneka sausage, any type of Georgia Boy sausage, whatever you got. You know, deer sausage. Look, if that's what's going on and that's the way you have to make it, any sort of meat like that'll do good in this recipe. So you just start off with about, I'm going to make this small, about a pound of meat. Depends on what you have. Got the cast iron going over here, so use my metal utensils in here. I'm going to just break this up real quick for you, because when you cook in this, you're getting some of the daily iron that your body needs. So not only are you getting the old school flavor, you're actually getting some vitamins that are needed too. So if you're a little anemic, hey, cook in your cast iron. It'll take care of it for you. So I'm going to put this on about medium and just let it sit here and get browned up. While it's browning, I'm going to go ahead and prep up some veggies for this thing. So I'm going to get my yellow onion here. I'm not going to need this entire onion, but I'm going to show you how I process it down. So I cut it in half, leaving the root on there. You cut the tip of it off on this side, opposite of the root. And peel back. Okay. So then I like to come through and we're going to dice this thing up. Just do about 3 cuts. Not really supposed to cut towards your hand. So then I'll come across this way and do cuts down towards the stem. And then come across the other way and just across, perpendicular to the stem. And then you have a nice, easy diced onion from, bam. Just keep tending. Don't forget about it, but if you do, it'll just make little crispy sausage pieces, and I think those are pretty good too. Pretty hard to mess this up, I do believe. All right, we got our yellow onion put there. Now we're going to come over here and get us a couple carrots out. So with this, the ingredients, I forgot to tell you, we get a yellow onion, carrots, we're going to have some celery, Italian seasoning, some better than bouillon, garlic, and lentils. And so it is a pretty simple recipe. Now you can, leave the carrots and celery out if you'd like. My people really don't care for them in there, so I usually don't put it in there. But that's completely up to you. So I get all my carrots here and just kind of just cut them down a little bit. You don't have to be perfect, but I like to hide them, because if they see something that's funky in there, or if they see a big onion, my kids won't eat it. Don't know about y'all's, but smaller you can make them, usually the better. So I'm not going to take a whole lot of time with this. If you have a food processor or something, this makes this job much quicker. Okay. I'm sure that we'll speed some of this up if we need to, but you know, I got my celery here. I'm gonna make sure to rinse this off because your celery is gonna have some dirt in it, and I ain't trying to eat no dirt. Some people peel celery. I don't know why in the world you would, maybe to get some string out of it, but you know, I've never noticed it. All right, and you see as much vegetables as you want, you know, as many or as little as you want. Some people want zero. It's completely up to you. Of course, little garlic today. Man, it's really little garlic today. Use garlic if you want. Use nothing. If I'm gonna make it, I want it to taste as good as I can. Okay. So we got our little pieces of garlic here. You know, I'm just putting a rough chop on everything. So, now that we've gotten here, you know, getting pretty close to, you know, frying till all the meat is brown. You want to make sure there's no pink left in there, you know, no big chunks. You know, you turn your spoon around, whatever, crush it. Smaller the pieces, the better. You want it to kind of spread out through your soup. But the flavor is kind of what the main thing is. So that's good enough there. I'm going to crank this up just a pinch and go ahead and throw my vegetables in here. Like this was just about 4 stalks of celery, I think, 1 carrot, half a yellow onion, about 2 cloves of garlic, if you, as small as they were. And we're just gonna put it all in the pot here, saute it. You have some oil, olive oil, whatever. Sometimes you have enough oil that comes out of your sausage and you don't really need anything. We're going to just let this sit here and cook for a minute. All right. And now that we kind of got our vegetables in, we have our sausage over there at sauteing. We're going to take a break and we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Bobby McCarthy.
And I'm Kyle Gerard with A+ Flooring and Construction. We are your local licensed general contractor.
Don't be overwhelmed with your home improvement plans. We can help you every step of the way from start to finish. When it comes to bathroom remodeling, floors, home improvement, additions, anything you need, we have over 25 years experience.
And we have 2 locations. You can come and look at the products that we have. We have 1 location in Dublin, Georgia at 335 Georgia Highway 338, or in Eastman at our brand new location at 112 East Main Street.
Hey, this is Perry at Williamson's Bakery, a proud supporter of Dublin and Lawrence County athletics since 1965. From donuts to cupcakes and cookies to eclair, we have everything to satisfy your sweet tooth. We even have treats for your dogs. So when Friday rolls around, don't forget to stop by and pick up some stuff for that late afternoon tailgate. So remember, go Raiders, go Crusaders, go Falcons, and go Irish. You can find us on Facebook, or you can stop by and see us at 1634 Veterans Boulevard, or give us a call at 478-272-3344.
Now that we're back, I got cleaned up a little bit here. So we've got our vegetables sauteing over there, and we also have our sausage in there. Now I'm going to use a little bit of this Italian seasoning, and I'm going to just kind of dust a little bit in there. We're just putting, I mean, just enough just to kind of put a light coating on it. You don't want to use too much because it's stout. But you put it in now because when you got it, whenever you're sauteing, it releases a lot of the flavors out of the dry spice. And the oils that are kind of in here now will help release it. If you guys could smell, the aromatics are being released out of those dry spices, so it kind of just wakes them up before you add all the water and the other things in there. So it's kind of, you know, you don't want to leave them in there too long, but put them in right before you add your liquids. So this is looking pretty over here. So you can now, you need to add 6 cups of chicken broth. I like to make my own chicken broth. I like my stuff to taste like something. So when I make chicken broth, I like to make like a 100 proof chicken broth. I don't like the stuff that's really, you know, that tastes like chicken flavored water. I want it to taste like, you know, chicken broth. So you can make your own. In this recipe, this is a better than bouillon chicken. You can use if you want. Any type of bouillon works. But I'll use about half of this jar. It seems like I don't know. I'll tell you when I'm done. But anywhere to a quarter to about half the jar. So I have 4 cups of water right now going in. We get another 2. So we got 6 cups of liquid here. I'm going to go ahead and crank that up and get it rolling here. And this particular recipe right here is going to give you about 12 servings. You can multiply it, add more water, add more beans. So your bean to liquid ratio on this is basically a 3-to-1. So I'm adding, well, no, it's not 3-to-1. Yes, it is. I'm adding 6 cups of water here to 2 cups of beans. So, or 6 cups of liquid to 2 cups of beans. So that is a 3-to-1 ratio. If you don't know what that means, if you have whatever container you're using at home, say you use this jug, 3 of these with water to 1 jug of lentil. And that's how a 3-to-1 ratio works. So whatever you have, you can make it work that way. So this amount, I will use probably a third of this jar. I'm not going to use half. I'm going to use a little more than a quarter to make my broth on this. So we have that in there. And so now I'm going to get my 2 cups of lentils here. And so look, this is where the substance comes from here. All this other stuff that we've added to this before, this is making it fancy, but where the rubber meets the road, if you're trying to survive, add more liquid, add more beans. That's how you stretch. You know, if you have to have a minimal amount, if you only have some deer sausage or you have to have something like that to add some sort of protein in it, use what you have, stretch it out. 3-to-1, that's your ratio on this. So got 2 cups of beans to go with my 6 cups of liquid here. I'm going to, I think, don't look in her drawer, she'll be mad at me. Stir them in. Kind of when you do it, do them a little slow. And that way they don't want to stick together. I always like to just stir in one spot and just kind of dump right on top of where I'm stirring, and that will work. You see, I'm all about fancy kitchen gadgets here. This is one part of a mixer. It was the god of convenience I was serving right there. But it'll work. Adapt, improvise, and overcome. So here we go. I'm gonna get in trouble. Making a mess in the kitchen. So right now what I'm gonna do is it's getting hot pretty quick. So I'm going to wait for this to start boil. Heck, we're there, I think. Once it gets to where it's boiling, you know, hey, here we are right here. I'm going to cut it back to basically 2. I'm wanting to let it simmer. So whatever the simmering is, and however that looks, will, you know, if it's 2, if it's low, you just want to have a really slow simmer go on to this. So, hey, recipe's done right now. We're waiting for it to thicken up. Every 30 minutes, you need to go in there and give it a stir. Just kind of toss it. Do it right, and you can get it before the lentils burst. And that's kind of the sweet spot of it, is you hit it right when the lentils get tender, right before they burst. We're going to let this cook, and I'll kind of let you know about how long that takes.
So when I sat down for an interview, Mike asked me one question. He asked me what made me choose House Chef. Why did I want to come to work out here? You know, I told him I was ready to learn.
Fred had a desire to be a mechanic and learn the transportation side or the logistics side of things. What he learned at OFTC has just taken his job and his performance to another level.
OFTC prepared me for working here. You know, it fits perfectly when I was going to school for it.
Welcome back, y'all. We've got our lentils over there sauteing. You can kind of pretend this is 2 different things, because it is. Anyway, so moms, this is what moms taught me, Miss Veronica Samuels. You know, chicken and dumplings, it's a very simple thing. It has very few ingredients, you know, as fancy as you want to, but you have chicken, you can put carrots, you can put celery, you know, in there for the vitamins. Those are not necessity. With chicken, you can use whole chicken, you can use chicken quarters, you can use boneless chicken breast. You can let your budget determine what you have. Don't have chicken? Have you gotten some, do you have any quail? Has there been any hunters that have been out? Doves. You can use any type of poultry, any type of turkey, fowl. Folks use it for squirrel and dumplings. I know it's kind of out there redneck. It's really good. You got to try it. Anyways, you can use whatever protein you want. If you don't even have meat, you can just make the dumplings. That works too. Said a lot of that to say, let's get this recipe rolling. So, essentially here, I kind of have gotten myself ahead of the game. But with this, I have some water going right now. Basically, I filled my pot up. Hey, the water is what stretches all of this stuff for you. So water is the magic ingredient. The more water you use in your recipe, the further that your recipe is going to stretch. So, you know, with this recipe, you have more flour, or if you have some milk will go into it as well. But by and large, you know, the broth that you're making, like now, the more that you start with, the bigger of a batch that you're going to be able to stretch. So without further ado, I just have some leg quarters here. I think these cost about $7. It's from Purdue Farms. Purdue Farms, one of the local guys over there in Perry. I know that they're a large business, but hey, this is as local as it gets. Governor Purdue, Purdue Farms. You know, hey, this is good stuff. $7. I got myself probably about a little more than a gallon of water, and $7, you add it all. So right now, I'm just going to put a few pieces in here. But, you know, you just want to keep all of your pieces covered. My kids do not like any type of color in their food. If they see green, they say ew, and they spit it out. So if I'm adding vegetables to this, this works good. Your celery and your carrots, delicious. It adds the flavor. They don't know they like it, but they do. I just leave it in big pieces so I can take it out. So throwing those big chunks in there like that. Okay, gonna grab the rest of the onion that I had from earlier. Chicken, go away. Like I said, especially with chicken and dumplings, I only want to have the chicken broth, the roux there for them to see. And that's about it. Because if not, ew, Dad. So with this, just cut off right there. And like big chunks like this, be easy to fish them out in a minute. So now, you can season it if you like. Add you a little bit of, your Italian seasoning in here if you want. You got some Danos. Danos goes really good in here. Nothing beats regular old salt and pepper. But that right there is going to be your broth. It'll, and your protein right there. So that's the nucleus of the soup, the chicken and dumplings. Let it boil. We'll be right back.
I'm Brian Bazemore, President and CEO of Community Bank of Dublin-Lawrence County. We would like to invite you to come by and experience a welcoming banking environment. Come by today and have a cup of coffee and let us talk with you about our many products, savings accounts, checking accounts, CDs, and our many loans. You're more than just a number to us, you're family. Come by today, Community Bank of Dublin-Lawrence County, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Now's the time to get a great deal on taking care of your property. You need the #1 selling subcompact tractor in the U.S. so you can do it all and do it right. Z-Series mowers that deliver a quality cut and Sidekick utility vehicles where durability meets speed. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment with 0% financing available or save up to $2,500.
Products you can count on, a name you can trust. That's Midstate Tractor and Equipment.
All right, y'all, now we're back. So I've saved you the boring details of boiling the chicken and all that. We already have some chicken done here, and we have our broth over there ready. So right now what I'll do is I'm just going to get my pieces of chicken that I had here. Dion got me this handy dandy chicken shredder that I've never used, but I've heard that it is, for $6.99, it's what you have been missing. Let's see here. Don't, okay, well. Okay, I guess that's all right. I'll do it my way. Just get it this way and kind of chunk it. All right, cut into chunks like this, about yay size. And then you just come and break it up kind of like you breaking up oregano or whatever, if you had leafy oregano, break it into pieces, boom. No fancy way to it. It should be, if you have dark meat, pick all the skin off. You want to pick all the yuck that some people will see if they see fat. My people don't like to see the little dark pieces that come in dark meat. They're so picky. You know what your people will eat, but, get what you need out of it. This is going to have a lot of chicken and dumplings here. And see, just no big deal with it. You're just kind of pinching it, breaking it. Squeeze. Rub your hands together like they're cold. Whatever, it all works. Same thing with this broth, okay? Even though we've cooked our chicken in this water, it is still gonna be very weak with chicken flavor. And the way to make these meals be of substance and to be something that they look forward to, it's gotta taste darn good. So, not only is this gonna survive, it's really gonna taste good. Add your bouillon to this. You know, even though you already have some chicken flavor in, you wanna be extra chickeny. So, I'm gonna use probably the rest of this jar because I have a very large container for chicken and dumplings here. Heck, you want to be fancy? Dip some of your stuff in there. Get all of it out of there. Sorry, I'm a country talking, out of there. Okay. So now, as our water's just kind of getting back up to temperature here, we have upped the flavor and turned it into a little bit of soul there. Let's add some black pepper because black pepper makes everything better. Just a little bit, not much. Okay, now we're ready to make the dumplings, or dumplings, whatever you want to say. So, to make these dumplings, if you have a mixer, it makes it easier. It's easier to do. I have a mixer. I'm going to just show you with that, but these can be mixed by hand. You know, whatever it takes, right? So, you know, I'm sure we'll dub in the kids have Dad's dumplings on there. If anything were to ever happen to me, it's the one thing that they want to make sure that they can always have. This is my family's favorite thing. And understand, I'm sharing with you just something that means a lot to us, and this is me loving you well, showing you this. So, anyways, I'm not going to be sappy about it, but I do really love you. So, Dad's dumplings, here's the recipe. 4 cups of flour. When you get your flour, you need to make sure you scoop it and it's not packed down. When you measure flour, it should be loose, so that's the proper way to measure. So 4 cups of flour here into my mixer bowl. Okay, then I have 4 egg yolks. So 4 and 4. Separate the yolk and the white here. 1. 2. Uh-oh. It's going to be a challenge on this one. No, it's not. I don't get beat that easy. Best of the bunch. 3. 4. So 4 there. Okay, let me wash my fingers. Got a little egg yolky on there. Always, when you think about it, give everything a little stir. So what I do, I feel like I have a little clock in my head. Every once in a while, just come give them some love. Turn them over one good time. You good to go. So we got 4 cups, 4 egg yolks. Then we've got 1 1/3 cup of milk. So one. I'm going to do it's about a third. I'll go a little bit more. A little bit more than a third. Okay. One thing that you can do, a lot of people don't do, but I like to season my dumplings before I do them. So kind of see what we got. I'm going to hit a little bit of black pepper on them. And a little bit of salt. I have this, gotta be careful, it's wanting to come out quick, just a little bit. And essentially that's it. I'm gonna come over here, put it in my mixer with a dough hook on. Look at my mess, I ain't always clean. Ha ha, surprise. Okay, and I'm gonna put my mixer just on stir here, low, and let it do its thing. So right now, we have, our lentils are over here. They're kind of simmering, doing their thing. We're bringing our broth was already up to temperature. We have added our seasoning to it, made a little more flavor. Dumplings are going down. So as soon as they're done, I'm preparing now for the dumplings. And so, while we're sitting here waiting, I just wanted to kind of take a second and just tell you, there's a lot of opportunity around. There's a lot of hungry people. There's a lot of opportunities to serve. I know that City of Hope, Mr. James Deal is, doing a Thanksgiving meal for the homeless or unhoused people. There's plenty of opportunities to go out there and serve. And, one of the founding, a good character quality to have is gratitude. And so, if you're thankful and and blessed for where you are, show how grateful you are and go serve somebody else, and somebody else might need that meal. They may need somebody to come up and be that little bit of encouragement, to empathize with them, to know where they're coming from. So anyways, with your church, just somebody at work, who knows, just, the holidays are a pretty tough time for people. And now with, food insecurity also being on top of that, let's have a little empathy for each other. That's it. Now that I'm done on my soapbox, we'll be back in just a second.
This Alkyd Primer is the go-to for all your exterior wood projects. Its oil-based formula penetrates for maximum adhesion, even on weathered surfaces. It seals uniformly and also provides excellent stain blocking, making it ideal for tannin-rich woods such as cedar and redwood. If you want a long-lasting premium finish on your exterior wood projects, start with Fresh Start Deck and Siding Primer.
Quality products and installation since 1985. That's 4 Seasons.
Hi, we're Dion and Gary Lanton. We're the new owners of Luann's Biscuits and Burgers. We want to invite you guys to come out to our newly renovated dining room. We're open 5:15 a.m. through 10:45 a.m. Monday through Saturday for breakfast. We now offer delivery and pickup online at our website, luannbiscuits.com. You can go through our menu, order anything that we have on the menu right there, have it delivered to you where you are. We're at 1010 Telfair Street, so come on out. The coffee is hot, best in Lawrence County. The biscuits are fresh. The doors are open. We invite you to come back to Luann's. All right, welcome back, y'all. So, one thing I forgot to mention as I was making the dumplings. Do you like chewy dumplings? Do you want them light like a biscuit? It all, depending on how you like it, is depending on how you make it. I like a chewy dumpling. Why do I like the chewy dumpling? I like a chewy dumpling because it has texture when I warm it up later. So I'm used to making this meal and stretching it for a week, right? I don't want to be eating no mush in my mouth, come Wednesday or Thursday, right? So that's why I use equal part flour, equal part egg. If you want less of a chewy dumpling, cut your eggs back. So if you want like not as much of a chewy dumpling, go to 2 eggs and don't mix your dough as much. The more that you work that dough, the more that you activate the gluten that is in there, and the more the chewy that it's going to be. So if you like the biscuit type dumpling, which I know a lot of you do, Jesus died for you too. Even though you like it that way, back it off. Don't mix it as much. Less egg yolk, and then you'll have the perfect dumpling. Okay, so now I have my board here. Here's the fun part. Just as regular all-purpose flour, I forgot to say earlier, y'all. So anytime that we're talking with this is not self-rising. Right, it's all-purpose. Here's the trick too. When you're getting ready to touch your dough, wash your hands with flour. It'll keep the dough from sticking to your hands. I have a rather large batch of broth over there. I have a child who lives away that loves this recipe, so I'm making a double batch. So I already have some dough that I'd made a little earlier. So the amount of flour that you're leaving on your table here, this is going to be the flour that we're using to thicken our dumplings with, our chicken and dumplings. So don't be afraid like, oh man, I got all this flour. What are we going to do with it? That's okay. So so I don't know if any of the some of the older folks out there would recognize this, but this is my grandmother's rolling pin. I have been using this thing forever. I don't know how old it is. I don't know where it came from, but I do know it was my grandma's, and so I love it. I use it every chance that I get. Betty Jean Feasler was her name. And so now I'm just going to go across my dough that I made, and I'm pushing it thin here. You can see kind of it's elastic. I said I like chewy dumplings, so the chewy dumplings will make for a more elastic dough. I know I'm not using this right, but I was a redneck that learned how to cook, so if I'm doing it improperly for you fancy classically trained chefs, my apologies. And so when I'm pressing this down, I'm thinking about an 1/8 inch. You want to stretch it, thinner. If you want to make more dumplings, you got a little more cash in the bank, make them thicker. Some chunky dumplings. It's up to you, whatever you want to do. I mean, that just to me is just beautiful. So easy to do too. So I'm going to, come on now. Come on, chewy dumpling, let go. So we got our chewy dumpling there, and we're going to try this one. This one I made earlier, and it was a bit more firm than that batch, so let's see if I can. Sorry about that. I'm over here locked in working and not even talking. But it is what it is here. So, the tale of two doughs, eh? One's been sitting and the other I'm going to okay. So, one thing that you have to know, the more water broth that you have, the more flour you're going to have on your dough when you use it. The less water you have, the less flour. So, I'll quit talking and keep working. If you have a pizza cutter, makes this job easier, but job's not hard either way. So, I'm just going to come and cut strips about 1 inch to 1.5 inches. And these are my dumplings. I'm making these, you can make them as big as you want, as small as you want. But the smaller you make them, the more that you're going to have in your thing for people to share. Because when you get to Thursday, folks is going to be arguing because most of the dumplings is gone because Mom decided she was going to come in the middle of the night and load up with nothing but dumplings. But that's okay. Maybe that won't happen at your house. See? Basically, 1 by 2 little. There is no right or wrong way to do it. Pizza cutter, no pizza cutter, kids still got to eat. And one thing I did want to say, I hope no one is ever ashamed in any kind of type of thing. I understand if ever you feel like that you are hungry and do need help, privately message me. I promise that I will keep it 100% confidential, but there are people out in the community looking for people that need help. So never let pride keep your family hungry. There are people out there that are hoping to help, and I promise you, if you reach out, I can do what I can to get you with those people, but 100% confidentiality, I don't care. It does not matter. Don't go hungry. Yes? So, very passionate about that. So I'm going to go ahead and stop talking and work. Would solve lots of problems around if people would do that more. Stop talking and work. That was geared towards nonsense fighting. There we go. So, one thing I like to do after I do that is get a little bit more flour, because where I've cut these pieces, the inside of that's going to want to stick together again. And it does make for a little bit of a pain. See? See? But essentially, we want each one of these its own little dumpling. Man, this ended up being a lot longer than I thought it was. I probably shouldn't have talked so much at the beginning. But I promise you, it's gold what I'm giving you. So now, I've gotten tired and lazy, so I'm going to toss them a little bit. Okay. If you'll come over here and I'll show you kind of, Kev, how the drop is. I'm sorry, am I keeping you? No, you're good. Okay. Now we have everything here boiling, bubbling. When you put your dumplings in, one at a time, try to drop them. The little bit of broth or the little bit of flour that's coming in with them, you don't want to add extra. You just want it to be a natural, what's sticking to it. That's what's going to make your thickening happen. I made a double batch, so I may end up having to add a little bit of more liquid to this. I don't know. But onesie twosies, just keep dropping them. You know, I try to, sometimes I don't want them to be in a ball. If you like balled up ones and, you know, however you like your dumplings, if you like them thin, flatten them out with your fingers. You can do whatever you want with them. You are the potter. The dough is the clay. You do whatever you want. So, I'm just trying to get them in here. Sorry, this is no glamorous way to do this. It's kind of, you know, just lock in and look. I'm looking for, like, you know, empty spots. Okay. You know, it gets to be looking like crappy on a tree. You know, you get so many in here and you're just looking for a hole. But that's more food. You got more stuff to eat in there when it's looking like that. That's a good problem to have. I think this batch of dumplings, as big as this is, was still less than 20 bucks. I mean, I used white meat chicken in it. You know, the flour. Heck, Piggly Wiggly right now has a 5-pound bag of flour. I don't know when this episode airs if it'll still be that, but they're very interested in making sure you're fed too. So definitely patronize them. But they had a 5-pound bag of flour for $1.99. Buddy, you can turn that 99 cents into food for your people. So hook them up, look out. You know, these are all regular everyday items that you get at at any grocery store. You know, use your imagination. Mix stuff in as you see. There's no right or wrong way to do it. Make it your own. I love to add hot sauce into mine. Kids don't like it, so I don't do it. But you can do whatever you want with this stuff because this is your game. Whatever it makes it more tolerable. But you know what I mean? My prayer is that this becomes one of those things that your family, when you make this, they feel the comfort. They feel the love that you have done to provide for them. So it's always been very special to me, and it's just really a cool thing for me to get to share with you. You know, I love you, and I'm willing to kind of share you stuff that means a lot to me. But that love kind of comes because I was first loved. You know, Jesus loved me when I was unlovable. My sister's Sunday school class prayed for me for 6 years. I was the lost cause at the end of the meeting. Hey, don't forget Lori's brother. But Jesus found a way. Funny enough, going to a gun range, but it worked. And so you're always welcome in the church, synagogue, mosque, whatever. You need community, and you're not in this fight alone. There are people that are going through the same thing. When you encounter somebody that has a negative disposition, put yourself in their position. You don't know what they had to go through to even be standing in front of you. So if we kind of approach our life in that way and remember how we felt when we were in that situation, it gives us a little bit more compassion for that cranky person. It's easy to pick out something when somebody's being, to pick out the bad. It takes no creativity to do that. Look for the good in every situation. So I'm going to preach to you. If I'm sharing you my heart, I'm sharing my heart all the way. You're going to get every bit of it. So here we go. Dion's going to kill me for that. Now I've got my stuff going. And look, man, this is already thickening up. Hey, do you like holy smokes, chicken and dumplings? Look, I just showed you how to do it. I just gave up the goose. What businessman does that? I care about you more than I care about money. So we got this. We're in this together. Don't go hungry, right? We're in it together. I love y'all. Good food. Kevin, I'm hooking you up.
It's Truck Month here at Dublin Chevy GMC, and we have all the deals for you. With our best selection ever of Tahoes and Yukons, come pick one out to take home for the holidays. With great deals on both 25 and 26 models, including savings of up to $10,000 off MSRP, now's the time to come pick out the HD or LD of your choice. And hey, if you already have your new truck and you're just looking for something to have fun in, we have savings up to $8,000 off MSRP on new Corvettes, only at Dublin Chevy GMC.
So I just want to just thank you guys and appreciate your attention and your time watching Getting By with Gary this week. So we're going to come over here and kind of give you an idea of what they look like done. I did add a little bit more water to my lentils here, but it'll be whatever you choose. So if you come over here, our sausage and lentil soup. I mean, yo, that right there is where it's at, man. I mean, on a cold day, it's going to be 20 tonight. This right here is going to keep Dion snuggled up real close to me tonight. And then our dumplings over here. Here's a pro tip with your dumplings. Leave your dumplings a little more runny when you make them. That way they'll last longer when you have to heat them up later. So a little more soupy of your dumplings that you like. But man, hey, these things are like little pillows of heaven, man. Good Lord, look at that thing. And it was easy, right? Simple, real ingredients. It's not going to kill you. Doesn't have high fructose corn syrup or any preservatives. Real ingredients, simple ingredients. It's not going to kill you. That's what we're about here. So thank y'all so much, and be strong. We're going to get through this together. Peace.